Most people think a beautiful, full garden means buying more plants every single year. It doesn't. There are 13 perennials that do the exact opposite: plant them once, and they multiply on their own, year after year, without you spending another dollar. Some split at the roots. Some drop seed and fill in gaps by themselves. Some send out runners that turn one plant into a dozen within a couple of seasons. I'm going to walk through all 13, exactly how each one multiplies, and how to actually use that multiplication instead of just watching it happen. Welcome back to Thrifty Root Garden. This channel is about growing more and spending less, and there's no better example of that than a perennial that essentially pays you back every year it's in the ground. The plants on this list were chosen because they don't just survive year after year, they actively expand. That's a very different thing from a perennial that simply comes back in the same spot. These plants give you more material to work with every season, whether that's through division, self-seeding, or spreading roots, and once you understand which one's doing which, you can turn a single purchase into a full garden bee. Ed for free. Let's get into it. Number 1, daylilies. Daylilies form dense clumps that get crowded within a few years, and that crowding is actually the multiplication mechanism. Every 3 to 4 years, dig up the clump, gently pull it apart at the natural divisions, and replant the sections. A single daylily can become 5 or 6 plants from one division session, and the parent plant actually blooms better afterward since it's no longer competing with itself for space. Number 2, hostas. Hostas multiply the same way daylilies do, through clump division. As the plant matures, the crown widens and develops multiple growth points that can be separated with a spade or knife, each one capable of becoming its own full plant. Do this in early spring or fall when the plant isn't actively pushing new growth, and within a couple of years, one hosta can realistically become 4 or 5. Number 3, black-eyed Susans. Black-eyed Susans multiply 2 ways at once. They clump and divide like daylilies, but they also self-seed aggressively, dropping seed at the end of the season that sprouts new plants the following spring with no effort from you at all. If you want to control where they spread, deadhead before the seed heads fully dry. If you want free plants filling in gaps, just leave them alone. Number 4, coneflowers. Coneflowers are one of the best self-seeders in this list. Leave the spent flower heads standing through fall and winter instead of cutting them back, and they'll drop seed that fills in bare patches on their own. They also benefit from division every few years as the crown thickens, so you're getting 2 multiplication methods from a single plant. Number 5, sedum. Sedum is almost absurdly easy to multiply because it roots from cuttings with almost no effort. Snap off a stem section, stick it directly into soil, and it will root on its own within a couple of weeks in most conditions. A single sedum plant can realistically become 10 or more through cuttings alone in a single season. Number 6, yarrow. Yarrow spreads through underground rhizomes, meaning the plant expands outward on its own, forming a wider patch every year without any intervention. If you want to redirect that spread into new areas of the garden, dig up a section of the outer rhizome in spring and transplant it. It will establish and start expanding again almost immediately. Number 7, catmint. Catmint clumps thicken quickly and divide easily in spring, but it also roots readily from stem cuttings taken in early summer. Between division and cuttings, a single catmint plant can realistically double your stock every year if you actually use both methods, instead of just letting it grow. Number 8, irises. Bearded irises grow from rhizomes that naturally multiply and eventually need dividing anyway to stay healthy. An overcrowded iris clump actually blooms worse over time. Every 3 to 4 years, lift the clump, cut the rhizomes into sections with at least 1 healthy fan of leaves each, and replant. What started as overcrowding becomes a stack of free new plants. Number 9, daisies. Shasta daisies clump and divide easily, and like coneflowers, they self-seed if you leave the spent blooms standing. Divide the clump every 2 to 3 years as the center starts to die out, a common sign it needs splitting, and you'll get several healthy new plants from what would otherwise become a declining patch. Number 10, phlox. Garden phlox spreads through both self-seeding and clump division, and established patches will slowly widen on their own year after year if left alone. Dividing every 3 to 4 years keeps the patch healthy and gives you sections to transplant elsewhere, effectively doubling your phlox for free each time you do it. Number 11, lamb's ear. Lamb's ear spreads through low-growing runners that root wherever they touch soil, similar to how strawberries spread. Left alone, a single plant will slowly form a wide mat, and any rooted section can simply be cut free and transplanted as its own independent plant. Number 12, ornamental grasses. Most ornamental grasses form clumps that expand outward every year and eventually need, dividing to prevent the center from dying out and going bare. Splitting an established clump every few years, typically in spring, gives you multiple new plants and keeps the original looking fuller and healthier at the same time. Number 13, hardy geraniums. Hardy geraniums, not to be confused with the annual bedding geraniums sold in pots, spread both through self-seeding and slowly expanding root systems. Left to their own devices, they'll steadily widen their footprint each year, and any section can be lifted and moved elsewhere in spring or fall to start an entirely new patch. If this gave you a few ideas for multiplying what you already have instead of buying more, subscribe. This is exactly the kind of budget-friendly gardening this channel is built around every week. Let me know in the comments which of these 13 you already have, and whether you've been dividing them or just letting them sit. Quick recap: daylilies, hostas, black-eyed Susans, coneflowers, sedum, yarrow, catmint, irises, daisies, phlox, lamb's ear, ornamental grasses, and hardy geraniums. Every one of these multiplies on its own through division, self-seeding, or spreading roots, which means a handful of plants purchased once can realistically fill an entire garden bed over a few seasons without spending another due. That's the full list. If this changed how you're thinking about expanding your garden this year, hit like. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people trying to grow more without spending more. And subscribe if you want next week's video the moment it's up. I'll see you in the next one.